Welcome to the Fearless Floyd Show. We'll begin in 60 seconds.
Take the day off with me. Come and take it off with me. Take the day off with me. Take the day off. Get on traffic. Traffic with my friend right here. That's what I say. The best St. Jack's ending up to nothing. Everybody loves it with me. Okay, yeah. When mom cut off your welfare, I was there. Holding you down, mama. Holding you down. When I left you alone, I was there. Everybody knows I was there. You wanna call me out now? Still loving you like I'm loving the sound. Yes, I'll still be there. Them found ass niggas ain't here right now. Who loves you now? And who loves you now? And who loves you now? Take the day off with me. Take the day off with me. Take the day off with me. Take the day off. Take the day off with me. Maybe the whole fucking year. Oh, eon. Bitch, I'm fucking prepared. This is my love song when I'm drunk off the beer. I love you, bitch. I love you. You gotta bust past, don't catch no feelings. I come through with the style that's always revealing. From the block like the TikTok, don't stop. I was that shorty, you know she was non-stop. I had the hot clot, chilling like a real god. Everybody know Big Juan was a show shot. You get high with the Don, here's the real supply. You get high with the Don, here's the real supply. It goes on and on, ain't no fucking questions why. The gangster of love, get the real fucking supply. What? She came through, giving me more than I can tell you. Everybody knows the next level. I'm so clever. Take the day off.
Hey guys, J1 here with KPRC. I know a lot of you living in Houston have concerns after the recent discovery of 6 bodies in the bayou in a span of less than 2 weeks. So I requested some data from the Harris County Medical Examiner's Office, and this is what I found. There have been at least 22 bodies found in the bayou so far this year. 21 were found in Houston. 1 was found in Channelview. 19 were men, 3 women. Now, the ages are mixed, the youngest victim at 14 years old and the oldest at 69. Only 6 of them have a finalized cause of death. 4 were drownings, 1 was a sudden cardiac death, and 1 was a suicide. The rest of the deaths are undetermined or pending. Now, this comes as city leaders are urging residents to remain vigilant around Houston's waterways, saying that strong undercurrents can make the bayous dangerous. And they also say that there is no evidence of a serial killer, despite rumors circulating online.
Here. Welcome to the Fearless Floyd Show. As always, I am your host, Fearless Floyd. And obviously, you just saw a recent broadcast from KPRC NBC here in Houston, Texas, regarding all the bodies being found in the bayous. We are the Bayou City. It is a city built upon a interwoven links of bayous and streams and waterways. But let me tell you, people residing in the city of Houston do not swim in the bayous. It just, there's too much trash, junk, ragged metal, broken bottles. Yeah, nobody would swim in Houston bayous. Now, do they kayak and canoe? Absolutely. You can actually walk right out my house, jump on the bayou, and probably take a kayak all the way to the Gulf of America. Yeah, to the port area. But I wanted to show you that video. I'm going to show you another one here after this one. A press conference that was here in Houston, Texas yesterday with Greg Abbott, deciding he wants to come down and do something about repeat violent offenders in Houston, Texas. And the reason I bring this up is because, I didn't go to school for it, but I did. I didn't go to a college or a university or a trade school vocational to get this education. I went and got it from the School of Hard Knocks. Actually, really experienced it myself. So, when I give you a little clarity on criminal justice and how that works, you should probably listen to me, because I have a little experience going all the way back to 1982. So sadly, it is what it is. But, I can utilize that experience, information, and share it with other people. What we are going to have here in the United States of America, mostly in the red states, we'll have to see how it plays out with the blue states, where they don't want to arrest anybody. They don't want to incarcerate anybody. They don't want to hold anybody on bond. They don't want to prosecute anybody. They're just fine and dandy with teams of burglars, robbers, bum rushing a jewelry store and stealing everything in the jewelry store and getting away with it. They're cool with that. So if that's how they want to roll, that's fine too. One of these days, the citizens in those communities are going to have a different tune, because there's going to be no businesses left once they're all robbed, because they will flee or be bankrupt, one or the other. But what you're going to see on the county, well, actually, let's go back. With your town, your city, your county, your parish, and your state penal institutions is another prison population boom. They're going after violent repeat offenders. A lot of these violent repeat offenders are illegal immigrants. They just, they don't care. They have nothing to lose. When you have nothing to lose, there are no rules. There are no boundaries. The life of another person is meaningless to you. Their mental, emotional, spiritual well-being, meaningless to these people. I was locked up with them. I know how they think. I know how they operate. I know what they will do. Literally. I swear to tell the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help me God. Literally. He's passed away now, but he actually did some work on my back, if you know what I'm talking about. And he got transferred to a different cell block. And in Texas prisons, you cannot have a radio with a speaker, an external speaker on it. Everything works with headphones. There are no external speakers in any radio they sell in prison. But necessity is the mother of all invention, right? Idle time is the devil's playground, right? Well, these guys learned how to make speakers. Absolutely. They would take a magazine and they'd make the cones and they'd do the coils, get the magnets, and literally make a speaker out of a magazine and a cardboard box, some wood glue, some fine copper thread, basically, and a magnet. Yeah. So he got transferred over to the other cell block and kept playing his music too loud. Well, this cat in either a cell next to him or a couple cells down, told him flat out, "Hey, bro, stop playing your music so loud." And told him apparently more than once. Well, everybody in prison generally has a modus modus operandi, MO, for whatever they're doing. Well, unbeknownst to the speaker or loud music player, the guy who told him to turn down the music was tired of being on the WIN unit in Huntsville, wanted to go to a different unit and asked for a transfer, and they denied him. So when you have nothing left to lose, what do you got left? Nothing. So to get transferred off the unit, the next time that guy played that loud music, he got executed for it. Remember, I'm telling you the truth. And this wasn't even an illegal immigrant that had nothing to lose. This was somebody, a United States citizen, somebody from here. But that's the value of life in a different society. Not the one we operate out here, but the one in there. So as they go for these violent repeat offenders are going to get maximum time. They're going to get big time sentences. And here in Texas, if you're a violent offender, obviously you've probably used or displayed a deadly weapon. So they're going to find an aggravated charge, finding a deadly weapon, and you're going to have to do 50% of whatever sentence you have to even talk to somebody about getting released on parole. So if you get a 30-year sentence, you're doing 15 flat just to talk to somebody about parole. You get a 50, 25. You get a 99, you're doing 45.6 or 0.5, however you want to look at that. So where are they going to house all these people? They're going to have to build more jails and more prisons, more facilities, or they're going to have to cut some people loose. One way or the other. This is coming. Trust me on this. So let's play this video. I'm going to play my friend first. I know. I'll play Greg second, but we're going to listen to Houston Patrolmen's Officers Union or Police Officers Union with the executive director and my friend, class alum, Ray Hunt. So let's see. I got that over there.
There's no bigger priority in Texas for us. We're always prioritizing threats, and you know, how many murders is acceptable in Houston, Texas? I think, you know, we talk about what is success. I don't think we will ever achieve this level of.
I'm sorry about that. I don't know why it bumped back, but there you go.
No, Ray Hunt with HPLU.
I'm not sure what to say after this, but let me say that the 55% number, I think, is extremely conservative. I think that I can't recall the last time that we had a violent offender that was arrested that we didn't hear that person was on parole, probation, was on outstanding bonds or something. So just know that repeat offenders are our number one problem. I represent the rank and file here today. Our Assistant Chief, Jessica Anderson, behind me represents Chief Noe Diaz, who couldn't be here today. But let me tell you that the work that we do with these agencies behind me and with DPS, I can't recall, especially since Mayor Whitmire got elected mayor, when a phone call wasn't made to DPS to ask for assistance, that we did not have troopers in our city within minutes, literally within minutes, to help us to deal with problems. The relationship that we have with precinct 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, with the Harris County Sheriff's Office and with DPS is phenomenal. And the fact that we're focusing on these repeat offenders is exactly who we should be focusing on. There was a repeat offender almost a year ago in November. His name was Carlos Chavez, who committed road rage murder on the freeway in Houston, killing a man and injuring a small child with a pistol. He was out on multiple felony bonds. The judges got the point that this person is a continued problem. As the colonel said, he's not going to work when he leaves there. He's going to continue robbing people. That person was put into Harris County Jail on a very, very high bond. He has not been released yet. He's awaiting trial, and our trial docket is starting to go down. This governor has appointed 9 Republican judges in Harris County since in the last 3 or 4 years. We have another one open today, by the way. And those bring down the dockets. The faster you can get to trial on a felony, the more likely these thugs are to plead out and take their 35-year sentence or their 40-year sentence. Prior to that, what happened was, if you knew it was going to be 6 years before you were going to go to trial, and you knew that you had a magistrate, not elected by the people, setting your bond at little to nothing, why do you want to even think about making a deal with the state? You're going to sit there and for 6 more years, you're going to terrorize Houston, you're going to terrorize Harris County. There was no incentive. Now they're starting to get the message. And just because we're trending downward, if we let off the gas now, we're going to go straight back up. So this initiative that the governor has brought forward is exactly what we need in Houston, Harris County. I want to thank you for everything you've done for law enforcement. Chief Anderson and I are in the legislature every session. Never, ever have we come to you or the leadership and asked for something for police officers that it wasn't delivered. It means a lot for us to know that someone has our back. It's a thankless job sometimes. Sometimes you think no one cares about you. When you have leadership in the city and the state and now in the federal government that supports us, it's a big morale booster to our officers. So this initiative should make things better in Houston, not just today, but also in the years to come. So thank you for being here today. Appreciate you.
Thank you. Listen, we're dealing with a target-rich environment. We know who these criminals are, who these repeat offenders are. We're going to locate them, find them, arrest them, and put them behind bars and make the streets of Houston even safer. Take a few questions.
I pick up on something Mr. Hunt said, talk about the collaboration with the city. Can you talk about your collaboration with Mayor Whitmire on public safety? And I have a follow-up.
So I've talked to Mayor Whitmire about public safety at least a half a dozen times. And as you probably know, he's a mayor who cares a lot about public safety, has made sure that his police department, as well as other law enforcement in the area, are tackling the problem. He's proud of the fact that crime is going down, but understands there's a lot more to get done.
And then how much is this press conference attempted or a signal to the Trump administration that you've got things under control in Texas, you've got things under control in the largest city, and we don't need any kind of national guard here like they've gone into Memphis or other cities? So
for one, there's never been any threat or any assertion that may be happening in Texas, because the president does know that I, as governor, as well as our local law enforcement, that we're very committed to this. This is an obligation all of us in leadership have every single day. And that's to wake up and find ways we can make our community safer. And that's exactly what we are achieving today.
I understand that this initiative is going to beef up law enforcement in the area, but can you explain more about how this is going to target repeat offenders in the city?
Sure. So to give you the most details about that, I'll defer to Director Freeman Martin.
Sure. We will only have so many personnel and resources, and we're going to focus them on these violent offenders. So for us, specifically for DPS, we will pull troopers from surrounding counties. Would normally be working everybody's got a full-time job. They work something. But we're going to leverage the tag. We're going to refocus our resources on what's most important, and that's violent offenders. And when you talk about the governor and the mayor, I can tell you it is seamless. We work so many operations with the Houston Police Department, the Harris County Sheriff's Department, and Constable Herman, these behind us in the surrounding counties, that it's really seamless. They share their data, we share our data, we do heat maps, we know where the violent crimes happen, we know when it's happening, it's intelligence directed, we'll saturate patrols, but in that, there's always the investigative piece and the detectives that are working behind the scenes and looking at who are violent offenders, what do they drive, where are they at, when's the last time, when did they get out of jail, who are they hanging with, what gangs, and nobody does a better job than they do in Harris County. Houston PD started 25 years ago collecting data on gang members. Me as a Texas Ranger back in those days, I would go to Houston PD and say, hey, I'm working a violent crime out here in Waller County. This is my suspect. Oh, that guy lives over here. He's part of this gang, and this is who he's run with. We know who they are. We just there'll be covert surveillance on them. There will be intelligence. The ones that have warrants are easy because we'll just go get them. And that's a large portion of them. There's others that we know are in violation of their bond, probation, or parole. We'll get warrants on them and we'll go get them. Others that we don't know what they're doing, there's covert surveillance, and we'll find out what they're doing. And that's how we find a lot of these. I don't want to give up all of our operational stuff, but that's how we find juggers. That's what they do. So if we're watching them and casing out a bank, we know what's about to happen. And thankfully for the governor and the legislature and some of these new laws, we can get them traffic stopped before they commit a crime. And if they're in possession of certain tools, we charge them with a felony before somebody is the victim. So that's what right looks like. And there's a lot more. And I'll let Ray.
Can I piggyback on that for a minute?
Sure.
Specifically SB 9, which was filed this last legislative session that you just signed into law, just worked in Houston, Texas last week. We had a repeat offender, had just been released back in the end of August on the same offense that he was committing again this time. We arrested this person on this felony. He was taken in front of a magistrate, but the magistrate could not set his bond because SB 9 no longer lets an appointed magistrate do that. It has to go, when someone's got a warrant out for their arrest, it has to go back to the court where that warrant's in. So went back to that court. Well, guess what? That judge, and she happens to be a Democrat, set a no bond hearing for him in the next 2 weeks. So he's sitting in jail right now and will stay in jail until that no bond hearing is heard. And I'm confident that either he's going to get no bond or a very, very high bond, which means he's not going to be out terrorizing all of you for at least the next 3 weeks and hopefully for a lot longer, because we hope he put him in jail and then he goes to TDC for a long time.
Just
one last thing to further answer your question. Is a concentration of resources where DPS and other law enforcement, we concentrate resources on attacking a specific problem. You've heard Director Friedman Martin talk about jugging, how we concentrated resources and had success there. We also work with local law enforcement to address road rage and other problems on I-45 North, and it led to a decrease in crime in that area. This is just a replication of efforts that we have already seen success on when we concentrate the resources. And then when you combine that with the tools and information that they have, that they want to give away the details about, but they have tools and information that will allow them to specifically target who they want to go after to make sure we will be able to get to that repeat offender before that repeat offender will be able to get to their next victim.
I'm also curious about why you chose Houston. So Houston has about 5,000 HPD officers. Dallas has about 3,000. Can you explain why?
Sure. So as I have said, and Freeman has said, and Rayhan has said, we have a good working relationship that's long established. And so this is a project that I do want to take elsewhere in the state. But because of the effective and proven and historic relationship that already exists, I thought this was a good place to start. And then we will learn and be able to modify our strategies based upon what we do here, and then be able to deploy our best strategies to other areas across the state. Know this, and that is, as governor, I care about crime in all 254 counties. And so we will be taking this to large counties, but also to small counties. You know, on a percentage basis, because of what happened earlier this year, the crime rate in Houston County may be higher than it is in Houston, Texas, the city. And Houston County, of course, is a small area. My point is this. It could be rural Texas, urban Texas, suburban Texas. We will look at every corner of the state to make sure we're making it as safe as possible.
Governor, one question. The mayor's not here, the county judge, the sheriff, or the police chief are not here. I can't ask them, but I want to ask you, is this an initiative that you asked them or that they asked to bring to the city, especially since our crime rate is down? So why
Sure.
now?
So for one, I've been talking to the mayor about things like this for a while now. I talked to him about this a couple of days ago, and he said that he was not going to be able to be here. It's my understanding that he's out of town today. And so you can tell by the fact that we have a good presence from Houston Police Department leadership. Listen, they're invested in this, and they too want to see crime go down. And yes, the mayor is pleased with the fact that crime is going down, but none of us are happy unless crime is zero. And so we all know we have a long way to go. And this targeted approach that we've done successfully with Houston Police Department under Mayor Whitmire, but also under prior mayors, has proven to be successful. We want to replicate that with what we consider to be the most dangerous criminals, and those are repeat offenders.
Can I ask kind of a follow-up question for whoever's qualified?
Sure.
Like, you already have all these task forces, regional task forces. Like, what changes with this initiative? Is more money going to overtime? Are you bringing more people into the task force?
Yeah. So I mean, there are task forces that may achieve their goal, and hence the effort and resources are not being put into those specific task forces. And it goes back to what I was saying moments ago. This is going to be a concentrated effort where at the DPS level, This is going to be one of our primary focuses of operation to make sure that this area and this cause are going to have the resources that are going to be needed to target and to apprehend and to remove from the streets these most dangerous criminals who are the repeat offenders. And then in addition to adding the personnel to it, is deploying enhanced strategy, some of which is new, some of which is already proven, to make sure we will be able to identify and find the people that we're looking for.
I have 2 more questions, folks.
Governor, I have a question. Isn't the issue that we have these repeat offender problems because of judges that are releasing them back out onto the streets?
So
Is that a major factor in contributing to this repeat offender problem?
no doubt, the release of dangerous criminals by judges in Harris County is a contributing factor at a minimum, maybe more than that. And that's exactly why I made as one of my top priorities this past session to pass laws as well as a constitutional amendment that would reform the bail process to prohibit and make it more difficult for the local judges in particular in Harris County from releasing these dangerous criminals back out onto the street only to kill somebody else. As I said then, I'll repeat now. In the Houston area alone, over just a year or two, there have been hundreds of people who lost their lives, who were murdered by someone who had previously committed another murder, released by the judge only to murder again. I'll repeat one example, a man named Austin Collette. Austin Collette was not only arrested for murder, he pleaded guilty to murder. And he was a confessed killer, only awaiting his sentencing. And the judge, as opposed to keeping him behind bars during the sentencing, the judge let him back out on the streets. While he was out on the streets awaiting sentencing, he murdered a 23-year-old woman here in Harris County. That is horrific. And that's one reason why we were able to get the reforms passed during the session that Ray Hunt has already made reference to. But we're not done yet. There's more to be achieved with regard to reforming the judiciary and the rules with regard to bail to make sure that we keep behind bars those who pose an imminent danger to our community.
Time for one more, folks.
Governor, I'd like to understand.
I know, but there's other people that.
Can you say how long the task force will actually be in the Houston area? And I know you mentioned high crime areas within the city. Can you talk about what those crime areas are? And then at what point you know if the task force has kind of done its job and may not be needed as much?
So you had 3 questions, and the first and last are correlated. So there's no, it's not like we're going to be here for 1 week, 1 month, or 60 days. There's no predefined term right now how long it will last. One thing we want to do, we want to see results, and that goes to your second question, and that is, what do we define as a high crime area? Without going into all the cards in the deck of DPS and local law enforcement, the reality is this: because of the criminal records, we know for the most part all of who the repeat offenders are. We know where they are for the most part. And so we're able to target them, by zip code, by address, whatever the case may be, and find ways of dealing with them that I will not disclose right now that will enable law enforcement to try to get to them and maybe arrest them and get them off the streets before they get to their next victim.
Thank you, everyone.
Governor, just to be clear, they're not going to be patrolling a specific area, right? They're just going to be targeting those.
So to be clear, and Freeman Martin made reference to this, there will be additional patrols in certain areas, but that will be done on a case-by-case basis, a day-by-day basis, based upon facts on the ground.
There you go, Governor Greg Abbott. For most of you who don't know his historicity, he was once a Democrat, and then when it came convenient to become a Republican, well, he did so. Absolutely. Career politician, litigator. He was the former Chief Justice of the Texas Supreme Court, former Texas Attorney General, and now the governor. Imagine all those pensions he's getting. 3 at least. Must be nice, right? That's what happens when you go work for the state. Obviously, you heard a lot there. It's a day-by-day thing, case-by-case. Absolutely. You got to hear Ray Hunt give you a description of that. And, one of these days I need to take Ray to lunch. And just kick it with him. Because city of Houston is garbage. And I hate to say that because I'm a native Houstonian. I was born and raised here. I was proud of Houston. Houston was one of the greatest cities, at least it was for me. I had a lot of fun, a lot of adventure, met a lot of people, and had fun. Now traffic sucks, the road sucks, crime sucks, drivers suck, zoning with the houses. Thank God the construction boom has waned and they're not building these sardined 3 and 4 story particle board houses. I mean, they're so cheaply built. You see them being built, you're like, oh my God. And they're going to probably charge $350,000 for that piece of crap. Absolutely. And they build them everywhere and anywhere. And it really, it's an eyesore. Because, you see all these traditional brick houses and then boom, there's this lot with these 8 houses that are all sandwiched in that tower over everything else. No trees on the lot because there is no lot anymore. And they've really destroyed this city, sadly, and it's not going to recover. When the housing boom, when we get over this depression, recession, whatever the hell we're in, and we get the reset, and believe me, there will be a reset. I don't know what that looks like, but they have to reset. This is what Putin and Russia is really, really, really concerned about, and I think this is why he will not let up off the gas with Ukraine. He needs assurances from Trump that they're not going to pull a little shady deal and take that $37 trillion United States debt and turn it into crypto. That's what they want to do. That's the grand scheme, the grand plan behind the scenes with Trump's son, his family. That's why they're so into crypto, because they're going to kill it. And because they are influencers and they do have an audience. Oh, I'm going to play that for you guys. Let me see if I can go pop that up. Oh, wrong one. Oh, yeah, I got to show you all this. Yeah, here we go. If you are not part of my Telegram channel, the Fearless Floyd Show over in Telegram, I encourage you to go over there because all the stuff that I research, I dump everything. All the videos I watch and listen to, I dump them over in my Telegram. So if you want to, follow what I follow, learn what I learn, and hear what I hear, then go join my Telegram. The link's in the description below. And let me show you what. Just a little something of what's going on over there. Let me make sure I have a full screen for you guys. There we go.
They're testing all these planes, all the companies are testing, and this one tested like through the roof. And they said, we'd like to name it the F-47. I said, all right, let me think about it. Then after thinking for about 2 seconds, I said, okay. You know, that means 47. I'm 47. So I'm 45, 46, and 47. Yeah, if you think about it. I just don't want the credit for 46. I don't want to have their.
No, it's not playing. So let me. Give me a second. I'll get with you. Where's it at? Come on. It's not picking up the window for some reason. Yeah, that's not it. Okay, why isn't this picking up? There it is. Let's see what my screen looks like over here. And we are good, 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 good. Okay, now I don't know why it doesn't want to play. There we go.
They're testing all these planes. All the companies are testing, and this one tested like through the roof. And they said, we'd like to name it the F-47. I said, all right, let me think about it. Then after thinking for about 2 seconds, I said, okay. You know, that means 47. I'm 47. So I'm 45, 46, and 47. Yeah, if you think about it. I just don't want the credit for 46. I don't want to have their open borders, people coming in from all over the world, including jails and mental institutes. I don't want that on my record, but I like having it. We're investing.
So you just heard Trump take credit for the Biden administration without accepting credit for the Biden administration. He just told you that he was the 46th president of the United States. So when I tell you, okay, that to me, it appears that there was just this seamless administration, that it was Trump, and then they let Biden win and on purpose, and that Biden wasn't going to do anything at all, and that Biden would be so terrible that this country would just be so susceptible to accepting anybody that was better than the Biden administration. And that's what Trump did. And he built this following, this cult. Part of that was based on the whole the QAnons, who kept the conspiracy, the plan. Remember, trust the plan? Well, Trump just told you, okay, hey, I was the president then. I ran everything, but I don't want to take credit for all that illegal immigration. I don't want to take credit for the serial murders, the serial rapes, the serial robberies, the serial drug trafficking, the serial human trafficking. He doesn't want to take credit for all that. He's going to throw all that on Biden. Pay attention to what's going on, folks, because when it comes, it's going to come, and it's going to come so fast and so quick, you're not going to understand why it came, because they're going to use a disaster. They're going to use illegal immigration to create a surveillance state, bring in the new world order. Watch. You already see Trump bringing in troops into these blue cities and taking over the cities. What you don't see is accountability. Nobody's being investigated by some secret grand jury or grand juries on the federal level. Pam Bondi's not doing her fucking job. She's protecting people, protecting entities, abso-freaking-lutely. Oh, yeah. So don't think for 1 minute that Trump's going to come save the day. I keep harping on this over and over and over and over and over, man. If you're waiting on the political machinations to save this country, you might as well just go lock yourself up in a cage, because that's what they want to do, and that's what they're going to do. And the cage won't be a physical steel bar cage. No, it'll be an electronic cage where everything you do will be monitored, stored, reviewed, and possible punishments, fines, fees, and taxes for what you're doing that doesn't incorporate into their guidelines. Because the government's going to continue to accumulate more and more power, create more and more laws. And we, the people, are going to go, okay, cool, save the day. Come save us from ourselves, because we don't know how to self-govern. We're just a bunch of dumb morons, a bunch of sheep. Bah, bah. You know, there's a whole kind of, I don't know, a mythological scenario where you know why cowboys wear their jeans inside their boots, so they can put the back legs of those sheep in there. You get the visual now? So that's how they think of us. They can just come pick up our hind legs and put them in their boots and do whatever they want, whenever they want. Trump's a liar. He's lied to us. He sold us out. He's being controlled. The New World Order is coming. It'll be controlled by artificial intelligence. And whoever owns that artificial intelligence, whether it's Elon Musk, who's now the eclipsed 500 billion. Yeah, he eclipsed 500 billion. Or Zuckerberg, or Larry Ellison. And we already know what Larry Ellison wants to do. He wants your DNA, and he wants to create artificially intelligent vaccines with your DNA, specifically for you with your DNA. And what happens when he has your DNA? You better pay attention. So getting back over here to my Telegram, I want to cover on that. I'm not trying to jump around on you guys, but it's what it is. Oh, yeah. Got a lot of stuff over there. And this was on EDU Matrix earlier today that I watched. I posted it over here. So if you have any Iraqi dinar and you're not getting any return on your investment, if you made probably 1/1,000,000th of a penny over the last year with your dinar, actually you can invest it into their stock exchange and get a return on your profit. So anyway, there's the link for that. And this is this green QR code. So during China, they could, have all access to society. And then I had to post this because I tell you what, right here, when your ego is too small for your body, you create a token and you sell it to your audience. Oh, dear God. This is Sean Paul, Long Island Audit. There you go. Let's look at this one. No name given. The Oklahoma Highway Patrol, working with ICE, arrested more than 120 illegal immigrants, where troopers said they found some truckers carrying New York State issued IDs labeled "No Name Given." Many of the licenses were expired by nearly a decade. New York's DMV confirmed the licenses were authentic and issued under existing procedures. Well, there you go, folks. So you want to get a driver's license? No name given? There you go. Apparently, that is a thing. And there you go. So you can come over here and hang out with us and see my declining numbers right here. Once upon a time, I used to have 3,400 in there, and it has steadily declined over 2 years. Don't ask me. Shadow banning at its finest. Another CG. Where all the chatters? Oh, I don't know. I don't know where they're at today. This wasn't. This was the last minute deal. I actually would have came on at noon, but I was on Telegram talking to Ann LaFleur regarding trust books, trust classes, new trust books that she's writing, bills of exchange, et cetera, et cetera. We talked about a lot. The issue with here in Texas that we are having with Greg Abbott is Greg Abbott is a reactive governor. He's not proactive. He's not pro anything. He's a reactive governor. When things get like out of hand and like, oh my God, the public's getting aware of it. Maybe I should say something. That's who Greg Abbott is. And it sucks. He should be much more proactive, but he is who he is. I don't think that's ever going to change. But I want you to pay attention to what he said and what they all said on that panel. They know who these repeat offenders are. They know who these gang members are. They know who the illegal immigrants are. But yet, you just saw Freeman, I can't remember his last name. He lives next door to one of my classmates. Such a small world. When he was a colonel, he's still colonel, but he is now the chief law enforcement officer for the state of Texas. He's the #1 Department of Public Safety officer, the guy at the top. I sent him my affidavit of treason against the state, as well as to Greg Abbott and Ken Paxton, among many others. They all ignored it. So I want you to know that all the illegal immigration that happened over the last 8 years, 9 years, whatever, Greg Abbott and Ken Paxton allowed that. They allowed it. Not only did they allow it, but they allowed those illegal immigrants to waltz right in the chief law enforcement agency or department in the state of Texas with some bullshit ass paperwork from another country and get a Texas issued identification card or a Texas driver's license. Some of them went on to even get a commercial driver's license. This is what I'm talking about, being proactive and reactive. That is still a thing. What's up? Go rescind all those state IDs. Go rescind all those driver's licenses. This is what I'm talking about, why they allow this. They want this to happen. They don't want to stop it. If they wanted to stop it, they could stop it. They could have stopped it. They've allowed human trafficking. They've allowed the drugs to come in. They've allowed the weapons to come in. They've allowed the terrorists to come in. They've allowed children to be repeatedly raped from South America to Central America, into Mexico, into Texas. Documented. In so much as a letter from the Guatemalan Attorney General directed to Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton, notifying the state of Texas of what was going on with the Guatemalan children of both genders. Ignored. Do we have a pick and choose society where law enforcement and government officials have that authority to pick and choose what they want to chase, what they want to go after? I don't know. What have we done with our country? What have we done with our state? What have we done with our society, our culture? If we allowed it to just blend into a third world country, to a cesspool, they're talking about cleaning it up, but all I have to do is just walk down the street and I see illegal immigrants. I see them, riding the buses with their backpacks. You can tell that, you're illegal. Don't speak English. Don't want to speak English. Go down here to some of these, low budget grocery stores, some of these Hispanic grocery stores, and man, it's all day in and out, in and out, in and out. They're not doing anything to round these people up. I don't see these big jump out task force running around here scooping up all the illegal immigrants. Why would Trump have to wait until things got so bad in that city to send in the National Guard to clean it up? Because the authorities refused to hold anybody accountable. Trump should just, hey, we're not going to stand for that in the United States of America. We're going to send the National Guard to every blue city. Oh, apparently we have this big problem with crime. Well, where you at? Where you at, National Guard? Come on. Sounds like we need you. What's up, Trump? Are we getting ignored? What are we going to do about all these, judges that just do whatever the hell they want to do? Cutting these people loose. I am a repeat offender. Absolutely. Not a repeat violent offender, but I'm a repeat offender. I was thinking about it. I was like, damn, what's the last time I had a violent encounter, like a fist fight? And I was like, damn. Whew. The 1990s, probably. Since then, no, I didn't even have any issues in prison. Yeah, a couple, little encounters, but words set that off. But there's no accountability in government. And until we start seeing it it's got to come from the top down. We have to have a DOJ, an FBI that actually function to show society that, hey, you're not above the law. We don't care if you're an elected official. We don't care if you're a Republican, a Democrat, an independent, whatever the hell you want to be. If you violate the law, you violate people's constitutional rights, we're going to hold you accountable. We're going to remove you, and then we're going to lock you up. The penalties for government officials and employed officials who work for the government who violate the law should be double. Every jurisdiction. You're being entrusted with the lives and safety of your citizens. That's a huge responsibility. And with those responsibilities, you should act within the laws that you are sworn to uphold. And when you don't, you should pay double the penalty. You should know that if I step over that line, I'm really going to suffer some consequences. It might not be, I might go to jail or prison. No. You're going to go to jail or prison and you're going to do double the time. So if you committed a 3rd-degree felony, it's 2 to 10. Well, guess what, buddy? You're doing 20. You get the max. And it's doubled. Because we put our trust in you to do the right thing and you didn't do it. There's many solutions to these problems, but nobody wants to enforce them and act them. Nobody wants to hold anybody for accountability. I'm still waiting on a FOIA request from the Houston Police Department. Still, to this day. Submitted it over 2 weeks ago. Our governments are out of control. Our politicians are out of control. Just look at our Congress. They're still getting paid. They're getting paid to go on TV and lie to you. Tell you, oh, everything's great. You know, it's their fault. They're doing it. Until we come to the conclusion that, hey, look, if you're still a registered Democrat and you still support the Democratic Party and you're in the Democratic Party, more likely than not, you're mentally ill and you need some serious therapy and remediation. And until we accept that fact and then we provide rehabilitation for all these mentally ill people, which there are millions of mentally ill people in the United States, certifiably insane. Anybody who thinks it's okay to let somebody who's been kicked out of our country 10 times to commit violent acts and then have no bond, no bail, where they just like walk in, walk out, that's insanity. Some of these laws being passed in, some of these Western states, California, Utah, they're unbelievable. But everybody just goes about their lives. Nobody cares. Nobody has time to do anything. Nobody wants to raise a big fuss. Problem, people are institutionalized, programmed, dumbed down, miseducated, disinformationized. People like to be lied to. They like living in this hopiate dreamland. And they want to continue to do that. And they just jump from one to another. They're fishing bodies out of the Houston bayous, like people catching carp. And they're going to tell us there's no such thing as a serial killer. Well, somehow those people are drowning and they're not swimming in the bayous. Nobody in their right mind would swim in a Houston bayou. Period. You can't see 1 inch beneath that water because it is so filthy, so full of debris, whatever that looks like. I mean, imagine you're swimming and everything that gets washed off the streets into the bayou. So it's motor oil, transmission oil, gas, diesel, soda waters, vomit, piss, feces. That sound like a amenable place that you'd want to go hang out and sunbathe? Probably not. So that's not a thing. All you folks, y'all need to wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up. So go join my Telegram. You'll get a lot more information in there than I post here socially. Trust classes, they have been reduced. So if you $25, any one of Animal Floor's classes now, go check those out on the FierceFloydShow.com website. Have a lot of new stuff for you. I have a conference call today in a couple hours with a group that I don't know. I don't know what we're going to do. We're going to talk, but they have a similar platform, what we do. So we'll see if we can find some common ground, maybe work together, collaborate. If you didn't catch my show last night with Wesley Keith Mullings on the renters and homeowners assurance bond process, go check that out. I do have some price reductions in my store if you want to go check those out as well. And what else was I going to show you real quick? Yeah, covered that. Yep, I think that's it for now. Yep, that's it for now. All right. Appreciate all y'all hanging out with me today and spending your time with me. I don't know where the chatters are. No comments today. So there you go. Just want to give you all a little introduction what the hell's going on over here in Houston, Texas, and the state of Texas. Thanks for hanging out. Got the outro coming up. I'm not scheduled for anything. I will be this Saturday. I will be at the John the Tank Sherman's Muscle Beach bodybuilding contest at the Galveston Convention Center this Saturday. And then Sunday, I'll be at the Holocaust Museum in the Museum District here in Houston, watching my friend and classmate act in the production incident at Vichy, which is, I guess it's all about the Holocaust. I haven't seen it. I don't know anything about it. But he's acting in it. I'm going to go check him out. Take him Juan so Juan can check him out because we're working on a project. Hopefully have him involved. That's where we're at. So that's what I'm doing this weekend and what I got going on. Yep. And got some other things happening. So thank you, everybody. I'll catch you when I catch you. If I don't see you before next Monday, have a safe and happy weekend. God bless everybody and come back in one piece.
Yeah. You gotta bust past, don't catch no feelings. I come through with the style that's always revealing. From the block like the tick-tock, don't stop. I was at Shorty, you know she was non-stop. I had the hot clot, chilling like a real god. Everybody know Big Juan was a show shot. You get high with the Don, here's the real supply. You get high with the Don, here's the real supply. It goes on and on, ain't no fucking questions why. The gangster of love, get the real fucking supply. What? She came through, giving me more than I can tell you. Everybody knows the next level. I'm so clever. Take the day off. Take the day off. Yeah. Get high on your own supply. Feel like a dime when you do or die. Just get high on my own supply. Do or die when I'm feeling like why. Choose a dime piece. Yes, one of a kind. Holler at me, I was one of a kind. We had a bill, throw the shoes to the side. Come on, throw them shoes to the side. Take the day off with me. Come and take it off with me. Take the day off with me. Take the day off. Get on trap free. Trap the room, I'm saying right here. That's what I say. The best St. Jackson and up to nothing. Everybody loves it with me. Okay, yeah. When your mom cut off your welfare, I was there. Holding you down, mama. Holding you down. When I left you alone, I was there. Everybody knows I was there. You wanna call me out now? Still loving you like I'm loving the sound. Yes, I'll still be there. Them found ass niggas ain't here right now. Who loves you now? And who loves you now? And who loves you now? Take the day off with me. with me. Take the day off with me. Take the day off. Take the day off with me. Maybe the whole fucking year. Oh, Leon, bitch, I'm fucking prepared. This is my love song when I'm drunk off the beer. I love you, bitch. I'm the. Yeah. Take the day off. Cause that fucking 9 to 5 sucks. Take the day off. Opportunity. What? Take the day off. Take the day off. Start from the beginning. Yeah. You gotta bust pants, don't catch no feelings. I come through with the style that's always revealing. From the block like the tick-tock, don't stop. I was that shorty, you know she was non-stop. I had the hot clot, chilling like a real god. Everybody know Big Juan was a show shot. You get high with the Don, here's the real supply. You get high with the Don, here's the real supply. It goes on and on, ain't no fucking questions why. The gangster of love, get the real fucking supply. What? She came through, giving me more than I can tell you. Everybody knows the next level. I'm so clever. Take the day off. Take the day off. Yeah. Get high on your own supply. Feel like a dime when you do or die. Just get high on my own supply. Do or die when I'm feeling like why. Choose a dime piece. Yes, one of a kind. Holler at me, I was one of a kind. We had a bill, throw the shoes to the side. Come on, throw them shoes to the side.